Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back in Mumbai. I'm a director of photography and DI colorist based here. My name is Angel, and you are watching episode 9 of this ongoing series. If you haven't watched the previous videos, then I would recommend you to do so. In this video, I'm going to talk about audio tracks. So let's not waste any further time and let's get to the computer. Alright, so I have this little timeline made up for you guys. But before we start, let's learn how to make a new track or tracks, plural. So let's click on any layer. For example, let's click on the bottommost A4. We can add one track, which can be mono, stereo, or whatever, or I can add multiple tracks. So let's first add just one stereo track. As you can see, it says 2.0, or when you hover around it, it says stereo. What if I want to add a mono track? Let's see, it's a mono track now. What if I want to add three tracks between A5 and A6? Let's click on A5, right click I mean, and with add tracks, I can select below audio 5 or whatever, three tracks, which will be, let's say they are mono, and hit add tracks. Now I have three more audio tracks which are all in mono. Now, what if I want to delete this A5? Let's right click on it and press delete track. As you can see, the stereo one has been removed. Similarly, you can remove all of these empty tracks by right click on it and hitting delete empty tracks, as we learned in the previous video tracks episode as well. Now let's understand the layering in audio tracks or with audio tracks. Like in the case of video, it doesn't really matter which audio track is on top or which audio track is on the bottom and so on. To explain this better, I have made this little sequence here for you guys. Let's turn off all of these layers first so that we can see just the visual ones. As you can see, it's a beach. There is a crow flying by. There are some waves hitting the shore, right? But there's no audio at the moment. So let's first turn on the actual MP4 by alt clicking on the audio layer so that only the audio layer is selected. Now that it's enabled, let's see how the original sound was. Okay, so I can hear a crow when it's passing by, but the audio is very disturbed. It's peaked because I forgot to change the settings. I was mainly focusing on photos that day and some B-roll, so I didn't check my decibel gain in the internal camera's mic. But I can do this sound design with some downloaded files. So let's do that. Let's first disable this original MP4 clip. I have these three layers. The first one is a crow sound effect. The second one is a beach ambience. And the third one is the birds flying because the crow is flying by. So I wanted some feather flapping. So let's first turn on the beach ambience by alt clicking so that I can highlight only the beach ambience. Let's press D to enable it. Now let's hear the beach ambience. Okay, I can hear the waves hitting the shore. It's much more pleasant. The audio is not clipping. Let's turn on the bird flying, passing by sound effect. Great, I can hear the flapping of the bird's feathers. Now let's turn on the crow's singular sound. Great. So this is the sound design that I have made for this example. Okay, so what's the main difference between a stereo track and a mono track? A stereo track has two channels, left and right. We are very used to using these kind of settings in our earphones, in our headphones. Everywhere we have a left channel and a right channel, right? Sometimes we are hearing different items on different ears. But in my case, I want to duplicate the sound on both ears. So I could have set them to mono. But for the sake of this video and for simplicity, I just keep them at stereo. But we need to make sure by right clicking on it and going to clip attributes, I want to make sure that one of these are not muted. If it's muted, for example, if I mute the left track of this crow sound, then I will only hear it on my right side. Just like that. So I don't want that. I want to keep it unmuted. I can keep it on either channel because they both have the same audio. because I've recorded it that way. Now I can also take care of my clip attributes directly from the media pool. I can select any video layer or any audio layer, and I can right click on it, going to clip attributes. I can take care of these settings. I can make them mono right here before even dragging them to the timeline, or keep them at stereo and duplicating the channels if it was a mono file previously. If it was a mono file like this, it had only one channel, then I can choose to repeat that channel on both sides to make it stereo and then dragging and dropping it to my timeline. So that's a little bit complicated. Let's go forward. Now we have some buttons here on our timeline. We have this red box, which I explained in greater detail in the previous video. I explained this auto track selector, but let's do it once more. Let's select this clip with Control C. I'm copying it. Now I have track selection on all of these layers. Let's turn them off for these three. Now I have auto track selector for this one only. So it's going to prefer my layer 1, right? Let's paste the clip that we just selected. Now as you can see, it preferred layer 1, right? Let's Control Z it. Okay. Now as you can see, we have a lock button as well. Let's lock the crow layer. Now I can't move it, as simple as that, but I can still move these, right? Now we have these two buttons which are very interesting, solo and mute. The solo button does the opposite of muting. But first, let's do this. Let's duplicate this file. Now I have two clips on this audio track 3 layer. When I mute it, it will completely mute everything which is on that track. But now when I solo it, I will only hear what is on this track, and everything else will be muted. Interesting, right? Now, what if I want to solo this crow layer or the audio track 2, and I want to remove the solo on this one? For that, I can hold on to Alt and then click on solo. It will remove the solo from track 3 and it will solo my track 2. Now, what if I want to, let's see the effect. Okay. Now what if I want to solo everything else and remove the solo function? Now I can hold on to Alt and click on solo again. It will solo all the other existing layers and unsolo my track 2, which was previously soloed. This will mean that now I have soloed a bunch of layers which will now be heard. So this is it for this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what videos you want me to cover. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.